It is good to be with you once again. I welcome you with all my heart. It's good to have you here out of the rain and thunderstorms. You're here. This means something to you. That you would leave your warm home to come here is a sign that there is something within yourself that is anxious to come out. You would brave the storms, the snow, the sleet, and you have arrived. A very good sign, not for me, but for you. Always try to remember that this is not a prayer meeting or a philosophical meeting or any kind of meeting. This is satsang. Satsang is where the self meets the self. Satsang is where you meet the reality of yourself. There is only one self. You are that. So satsang is different than most meetings you go to. There's something here that most of you can feel. Something within you that says, I'm tired of this life with all its confusion, all the nonsense that goes on in the world, the good times, the bad times, the constant change. There has to be something else. Something within you says that, doesn't it? Have you heard it? Have you heard something within you talking to you? If you did, you're just as crazy as me. There's nothing to talk to you. Why do you want something to talk to you? You're nobody important. Nobody's going to talk to you or tell you anything. This is because you do not exist as a body. You do not exist as a soul. You just do not exist. So really, there's nobody that has to talk to you at all. When you hear voices, when you see visions, always remember, this is all an emanation of the mind. The mind puts on these shows. The mind loves to entertain you. It'll show you all kinds of things. Better than going to the movies. It will fantasize. It will make you believe that you've seen a vision, that you've seen light, that you've been transformed. It's all nonsense. The truth is, of course, that you are already that. There's nothing you have to become. There is nothing really that you have to do. You simply have to realize, I am that, and let go. You are not this, you are that. Why aren't you this? I don't know. But you're that. What is that? Find out. Find out what that is. How do you find out? By simply awakening. How do you awaken? By letting go. Stop holding on. Do not hold on to your life, your so-called life. Let go of fear. Some people are afraid to let go because they think they will die. What is death? It is simply like going to sleep. You're not afraid to go to sleep. As a matter of fact, we look forward to going to sleep. And when we awaken from sleep, we say, I have rested. I feel good. I feel energetic. What people call death is the same thing. You just go to sleep and then you feel great. You feel wonderful. You are finished with this cumbersome body as it appears. It's all beautiful. Most people are dead right now. They think they're alive. They're fighting for existence, trying to survive, debating, arguing. That's death. Believing that you are the body-mind phenomena is death. For you're not living. To live is to die to the body, to die to the mind. Not to have one single fearful thought, not to have a single belief that something is wrong. Somewhere, somehow. Not to think you have to do this, or do that, or go here or go there. To be still, to stay where you are. To be happy, blissful. This is to be alive. You should be able to sit in your home and be filled with such joy and with so much happiness that there's nothing you can imagine wanting to do that would bring any more happiness than sitting there. To feel and realize that no one anywhere in this world can give you a single ounce of happiness more than you have now. To feel that no one in this world can give anything that you don't already possess. It's really funny to me that people run all over the place to entertain themselves, to be entertained, where the true self is at peace right now. The true self is total bliss right now. There's nothing you need. There's no one that can make you happy. Oh, it appears that way. I'm sure you can say, this person makes me so happy. My new home makes me so happy. My new car makes me so happy. My new friends make me so happy. Those are all temporary conditions. They have to end. Everything that is born has to end. This means every new person that comes into your life, every new gadget that comes into your life, every new environment that you go to will first bring you total happiness. So it appears to you that when it comes time to leave, it will bring you unhappiness. For you will have to give it up, even if you have to give it up when you die, so-called, when it's time to leave your body. The reason we leave our body as it appears is because we refuse to give up everything when we are alive. Think about that. If you were able to give up everything mentally, give everything up in your mind, including your body and your mind, if you're able to do this, there would be no need to die. No one would die. Remember, death is only to free you from your attachments. That is the only reason death exists. Some of us become so miserable with our attachments When I speak the word attachment, I mean everything. Say you're ill. You worry about your body. You concern yourself with your body. This is attachment. As long as you're attached to your illness, by observing it, by talking about it, by trying to heal it, by trying to do anything to it, you're attached and you have to die. Isn't that wonderful? So you can become free. Because you refuse to believe and know that you are already free. You are still looking for someone to free you. You are still looking for a secret mantra or a secret esoteric teaching that no one knows. You are looking for the person who can give you something that you think you do not have. And you go searching all over the world. You'll never find it because it doesn't exist. You have been that yourself all along. That has been you. We go searching for happiness. We go searching for realization. We go searching for the right mate. We're always searching, looking, trying to find something that will bring us greater happiness, greater joy, and greater peace. It cannot be done. It appears sometimes as if it is happening like this. You may find the right mate, the right guru, the right book, the right environment, and so forth. It will appear as if you found these things. But how long do they last before you become disillusioned again? Before you become used to conditions where you are living, the guru, the mate, you take them for granted. When you've been with a person a long time, you continue searching and keep looking. You're looking in vain. Try to remember this. You are the one. You are the one you've been searching for all these years. You are the one. If you believe you've got problems, you've got troubles. When you're in deep sleep, do you have these problems, these troubles? Of course not. Yet when you awaken to this world, the so-called problems, the troubles seem to be staring you in the face. But you didn't have them when you were in deep sleep. Where did they go? This is a hint to show you that they never really existed. If they really existed, you would be experiencing them in deep sleep. But when you are in deep sleep, you wake up refreshed and you say, I slept well. Yet as soon as you become cognizant of this world, your so-called problems return. Whatever they may be, whether they are fears of the unknown, whether it's lack or limitation, whether it's a disease, whatever it may be. It did not exist when you were in deep sleep, but it exists now when you are awake. This shows you that these are not permanent problems. If they were, you would feel them continuously without stopping. They would be in your mind 24 hours a day. But they're not. Only when you are awake in this world. You therefore have to find out, to whom do these problems come? I didn't have these in deep sleep. As a matter of fact, I was talking to a neighbor on my walk this morning. He has cancer, and he was very worried because he didn't think he was going to live. I asked him the question exactly like this: do you feel this cancer when you're in deep sleep? He said, no. How do you feel when you awakened? He said, for a few minutes I feel fine, and then I remember the cancer. So I asked him, what do you think would happen if you didn't remember the cancer? What do you think would happen if you were just the way you were when in deep sleep, with no memory or disturbance? Of course, that was too much for him. He simply couldn't answer. He had no idea what I was talking about. But the fact is, he had no cancer. He didn't have any cancer. The ego did, or so it appears. And since there is no ego, there is no cancer. If there were a real ego, we would have to get rid of the ego in order to remove the cancer. The point I'm trying to make is, there is no one to have anything, good or bad. No one like that exists. Do not feel that you have an ego and that you have to get rid of that ego. Thinking of this all the time. This will be your downfall. It is true that in the books, they tell you the ego has to go. They're trying to explain to you in words that there's some belief somewhere inside you that makes you think something is wrong, that something isn't going right. Philosophy and psychology give it a name: the unconscious mind or the ego. Then when we get into spiritual work, we work on removing the ego, transcending the unconscious mind. This is a mistake. Why are we trying to get rid of something that never existed? How wonderful it would be if you could just realize in this moment that none of these things exist. You are absolute reality. Absolute reality. That's it. Just by hearing this, something should happen. You are absolute reality. Absolute reality means pure, choiceless, effortless awareness. Pure, choiceless, effortless awareness is like space. You are that space, all-pervading. Nothing can attach itself to that space, to that pure awareness. There's nothing that can attach itself to it. Your body appears to attach itself to it. Your conditioning in life appears to attach itself to it. All the so-called experiences of your life appear to attach themselves to it. But this is only an appearance, like a mirage, like a magic show, where things seem to appear, but do not actually appear. To spend your time trying to get rid of your ego, trying to get rid of your body, trying to get rid of your mind is a total waste of energy. even working with self-inquiry. Atma Vichara. This is for beginners. This is for a person who comes in from the street, who has never heard of anything like this, and wants to find total freedom. You therefore teach them self-inquiry. You teach them to be observant of their thoughts, to become the witness. But I'm talking to all of you people here tonight. 90% of you have been around me for a long time. I can tell you truthfully, stop searching for anything. You are searching for something that has never existed. All you really have to do is recognize what I said, and you will be home free. You are alive in this moment as Sat Chitananda. There's nothing else. It is only your mind beginning to think about these things I speak of that spoils your awakening. If your mind were able to remain still, if your mind were able to be totally quiet and totally still, you would awaken. You would be totally awakened. But because you cannot still your mind, you have to adopt all kinds of practices and go through the various techniques. Remember what these techniques are for: to still the mind, to become so one-pointed that everything in this world disappears and only the one is left. I can share this truth with you tonight. Most of you have been with me a long, long time. You can stop wasting your time practicing meditation, self-inquiry, all of it, if you will simply stop thinking. Now, I know some of you will say, it's very difficult to stop thinking. It's virtually impossible to stop thinking. Do not say that, because when you say this, it will really become virtually impossible to stop thinking. This is the suggestion you give yourself. If you just stop and try to realize who the thinker is, who is the thinker? There is no thinker. No one thinks. Thinking is a misconception. There has to be someone to think. Just as Fred thinks he has to get up, he had to think about that first. There has to be someone somewhere who thinks. We always believe there is something to think about. We believe we have to think in order to straighten our lives out, to make things right for us. We believe we have to think in order to be productive citizens. This is a game the mind plays. Everything that transpires in your life is Maya. The whole universal scheme is God's Leela. It is a passing fancy, a magic show. It's abracadabra. I see you. But I tell you, you do not exist. You have never existed, and you will never exist. there is no such thing as ceasing to exist. For if you have ceased to exist, it means that you existed at one time. We have to get rid of all these words, all these concepts, to feel I have to do something is also a mistake. It implies there is somebody there to do something. It is also a mistake to say, I have to do nothing. It implies there's somebody left over to do nothing. Even saying I am nothing is wrong. Every word is wrong. Every thought is wrong. Be yourself without thinking. Yes, it's possible. We've been believing many different books and movements and yoga teachings that explain to us that we have to stop thinking through certain methods, practicing pranayama, japa, mantra. By using these methods, we believe we will stop thinking. But these methods increase your thinking. They cause you to think upon the mantra, to think upon the subject, to meditate on God. But think of what you're doing. None of these things exist. So by thinking about something that does not exist, your mind moves in waves. So it appears. And the mind becomes stronger. And what kind of work do you do on yourself? You do nothing because you are nothing. If you are nothing, does this mean you have to do something? There's absolutely nothing for you to do. Know this truth. Become this truth. Stop concerning yourself with anything, and happiness will come right to you. Try to understand that you are in your right place right now, going through those experiences that are necessary for your unfoldment. And leave it alone. Do not try to save yourself. Do not try to overcome problems. Yet, your body will do things. Remember when I talk to you this way, some of you, not all of you, but some, still believe that you have to either sit in a chair all day and do absolutely nothing, or go to a cave or to a monastery or to a jungle retreat and sit. Of course, you know that those of you who have tried this have realized that you have taken your thoughts with you. Your thoughts will bombard you twice as strong, 10 times as strong as they did while you were in the city. When you were in the city, life's activities took up your time. There were times during the day when you were unable to think because you were too busy doing your job, watching television, doing something. But when you go to a jungle retreat or a cave, there's nothing there to occupy your time. Therefore, guess what is going to happen? All those thoughts that you have suppressed all the years, you have covered things up with television, newspapers, magazines, movies, bowling, swimming, all the things you do, so you do not have to think. But when those distractions are removed, all of these suppressed thoughts will reveal themselves to you. And you may go crazy. You will become mad. Many people have been destroyed this way. They go completely insane. Your so-called body will always appear to be doing something, and that is under the laws of karma. Vichara, the so-called god of karma, will take care of everything for you. You do not have to worry. You simply have to rest in the moment where nothing is happening, while your body does the work it came here to do, and be free. I can share with you that I speak to 3 different levels of experience. I speak to the devotees, the disciples, and the seekers. This is why I always speak of absolute reality, karma, reincarnation, and sadhana. The devotees, when they hear me, couldn't care what I say. They are living in total love. If I recited nursery rhymes, they would rejoice. It makes no difference what I say to the devotees, for they are coming from a different space than most people. The disciples want to measure what I say with the yardstick of their mind, and then compare notes. What did this teacher say? What did that teacher say? What did this book say? They're always comparing. The seekers are only interested in removing the problems from their lives. In other words, they are interested in exchanging bad for good or good for bad. They are only interested in improving their humanhood. So I speak at 3 levels. I intermingle all these things so that everyone can grasp something and feel better for a while. But when I speak as I did tonight, I was really speaking to everyone. No matter what you are, forget your troubles. Come on, be happy. That's the message. There's nothing that wants to harm you. There's nothing that wants to prevent you from awakening. You do not have to go through any type of realization to be realized. Self-realization is a misnomer, for there is no self that becomes realized. All is well. All is exceedingly well.